If you have any other questions for us, I think we're going to go up there and talk. You want to ask one now? Yeah.
What would be your ideal band to tour with, or what would be your favorite festival to be invited to? All of you.
Led Zeppelin. Currently?
I think for me, currently, if Radiohead asked our band to go on tour with them, even though there's no way that musically we could go on tour with them, I would be pretty psyched. I saw Stephen Malkmus open for Radiohead once, and there was no one there, and no one cared about Stephen Malkmus, but I still was like, I want to be opening for Radiohead, so that would be what I would say. How about you?
That's a hard one.
And then festival, you said festival? I think that there's a festival in Norway that I can't think of the name right now, but all the European festivals are kind of crazy because they make you play in these really nutty outdoor situations, like in a fjord, like on a boat, or on the bow of the boat or something. So those are really crazy, and I'd like to do one of those.
Glastonbury would be fun.
Glastonbury would be really fun, yeah.
Isle of Wight, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Since we're kind of in overtime, I was thinking, back to that academy with Paul. Did he ever come in during that time? I mean, did you ever live in like anticipation, like Sir Paul's going to be coming in, and laying his, I don't know, mojo on you? Or
yeah.
Did you ever see him during that? You were there for a year.
I personally hoped all the time that he would show up.
Yeah.
And he did show up, but it was only for the songwriting 3-year program people, and he would sit down with them and they would play him.
And you ended up only staying that 1 year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I never saw him walking around.
Did he say anything to you when he handed you the diploma?
He said, here's a badge to remember us by. He handed me a pin. And then he shook my hand and said, congratulations.
How did he look?
He looked great. He was wearing a suit and Reebok sneakers, which is classy. The one crazy thing that did happen at our school was Condoleezza Rice came to our school for some...
She's written some good solo records,
at our school, huh?
She's written some good solo records.
She has written some good solo
She was
work,
doing a writing thing or
I have
recording
no
thing there?
idea what Condoleezza Rice was doing at my school.
Keeping her ear to the street.
There was a super lockdown. It was insane.
Yeah.
But I got to see her.
I mean, but you did feel like you got something out of it. There was like he sort of, Paul McCartney sort of inculcated the programming thing with his spirit and whatever, the way the school did, yeah.
And like the whole Beatles thing really was ever present. Like the studios were designed by George Martin. There was just a lot. Like we had every Friday there would be a guest speaker come into the big auditorium and they would talk to you. And I remember one time it was Dionne Warwick and it's just all these crazy people that would come in.
Sounds like random people.
It was super random, yeah. But it was exciting. It was just it was a really good thing for me to do. It was good to be in Liverpool, which is a really cool part of the world.
Did you live like in a dorm thing, or?
I lived in like student housing thing.
Were you a scholarship student?
No.
You had to go all the way up by yourself.
Yeah. Which is crazy, but it worked out.
Yeah. And it sounds like China Crisis really laid down. That guy really gave you sort of a platform to jump off of.
He really did. Here's a song title. I think it was Diary of I can't remember. Diary of a maybe I'm thinking of a Todd Rundgren title here, but I think it's Diary of a Mink Hollow or something like that was one of the song titles.
Anybody got a smartphone?
Yeah. I think that might be a Todd Rundgren song. I don't know.
Yeah.
Both equally weird people, but what's that, Chris?
That was.
Do you know China Crisis?
Wasn't Arizona Skies the single? Yeah.
Yeah.
They were really big there for a minute.
I think they were, and I think he still holds on to that pretty fiercely, actually.
Yeah. Was that like your main teacher or something? That you always come in and that's your guy.
One really, really memorable moment was one of the teachers, which I never had, but he was in a band called not the Happy Mondays, but it was another band associated with the Happy Mondays, in that whole Manchester drug crazy scene, and one of the field day things we did. There was a bar in the school. It was like the first thing you walked into the bar.
You mean like for like your beer?
Yeah, like a beer, like alcohol bar. You'd walk into the school and there was a bar, which is fitting for England. But so we all were in the bar, and they showed a movie about this guy's time in Ibiza during the crazy
Ibiza time. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Island
I remember
off the
leaving that being
coast
like,
of Spain, by the way. For
yeah,
those
it's
of
like
you
the
who
super
don't-
party town.
Yeah,
And
you don't sleep. I think
No.
maybe in the afternoon somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it showed everything that they got into. Like, and I left it being like, so, that's cool, you know?
Sign me
That's
up.
my teacher.
Oh my god.
That's pretty cool.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
It was pretty nuts.
Any more questions? Is that it?
The title of the last song is Dirty Thing.
And that's
Yeah.
off the new album,
Yep,
the
there-
12
there-
Desperate Straight Lines.
There's 2 versions of that floating around. There's one that I did crazy demo style, and then the one on the record is the one that me and Chris Walla did. Yeah.
All this part of the session is going to have to be like the Bill Maher, later
like it.
on, overtime.
I really like it. Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
Let's get into some
'cause-
deep conversations here.
because you recorded the album in Berlin, and that by yourself. You had friends there, though, right? I mean, when you went to Berlin to record the album, you didn't just go as a stranger to the city.
I mean, I kind of did go as a stranger to the city. I'm going to take this off now. 'Cause we're really getting into it here.
Oh. Do we have time to do this? Is there
Take
something?
it off. I'm going to stand up, though. So, yes, I did go to Berlin. And I went by myself essentially, but not really. Our record label in Europe is based there. So I knew a lot of people, but I had just gotten out of a relationship that was going on for quite a while, and I was living in Seattle with my parents, because that's what you do when you're in a rock band. If you have parents that let you live in their house rent-free and make you meals. My mom's very good at cooking, by the way. And I went to Berlin because I needed to get away from home. And I went to Berlin in pretty much the worst month you can go there. I went there in February. And it was deathly cold, I remember. And it was also very lonely, which I was trying to get away from that, but it ended up being really lonely. And I had a practice space that I was renting from a friend who was in a band, and it was in this crazy, like, German industrial warehouse where super electro bands would practice next to you all day. Like, you just hear this in like in each corner of your wall, you'd hear this insane techno house thing, and you'd see them come out of their practice space with like crazy cigarettes, just like, oh yeah, that was great. Yeah,
It just sounds like an alternate universe of David Bowie's Low or something.
Totally. That's a large part of why I went there, because Chris Walla got me into that record. I'd never heard that record, and that record is crazy. It's weird. It's a really weird record. All the records that were written or recorded in Berlin have been weird, because has anyone here ever been there? You've been there, so you know. It's this very strange city. I would move there in a heartbeat.
It's not as strange anymore, though, because it's now open, but
Yeah.
Especially back then.
There's a
those
lot
guys
of
it was
remnants of that.
closed, you know.
Yeah. There's a lot of remnants of the just the things that people went through there. It's really a magical place, and I really learned a lot from writing there.
So I think, Michael, when we listen to this album, it's going to have that much more, kind of the subtext of, oh my God, you were so lonely in Berlin. It's really been a pleasure having you in Overtime here in the Bing. Telekinesis in the Bing. Thank you so much.